Step by step, the vote is coming closer. A vote whose implications will resound well beyond the borders of Scotland. Amid the normal rhythms of Westminster life, there is an encroaching realisation that one moment in 100 days could change everything. It's hard to escape the conclusion there's been a bit of sleepy complacency around Westminster about the outcome of the Scottish vote. An attitude something like, oh, they wouldn't, would they? No, of course not. But then as the polls just tightened, particularly after Christmas, minds were very much concentrated. So Westminster politicians started to think, you know what, they just might. So what would a yes vote mean for the main Westminster players? For David Cameron, it would be a disaster. History would remember him as the Prime Minister that lost Scotland. Just imagine having to head up the road to Buckingham Palace and explain, I'm terribly sorry, Ma'am, I've mislaid the Union. That does not bear thinking about. Just a few short paces across Westminster, they are contemplating a Scottish doomsday scenario. In Ed Miliband's offices, they know losing the referendum means losing 15% of the parliamentary party. It would be shattering.
Labour relies on Scotland because of the safe seats that it provides. Those are seats that they don't need to fight and they can shift resources to others. If you like, they're easy wins. To lose those would mean they would have to concentrate more resources elsewhere. It would just make the job a lot more difficult.
What's interesting about this debate isn't just how Scotland calls the tune in Westminster, but how Westminster politics are a key part of the dynamic north of the border. Glasgow may end up being decisive because there are big swathes of undecided voters here, and all manner of long-held political allegiances, loyalties and suspicions will come into play. For example, resentment bordering on hatred of the Conservatives is an age-old issue in this Labour-dominated city. David Cameron wouldn't show his face in Govan, so I showed it for him. What do you think of this guy?
David Cameron, hopeless. Hopeless. I think his politics are insignificant to Scotland.
It's a swarmy get.
Swarmy get, you know.
What do you think of this gentleman?
The SNP know alienation from David Cameron's government plays well for them. But in fact, politicians in general aren't flavour of the month.
For now, I don't know what to do because I've not got much information about it. So
I think there's a lot of mistrust as well.
yeah, there is.
A lot of mistrust.
Yeah, there is.
Who don't you trust?
Politicians. Politicians, basically.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd think campaigners would be all over Govan. The community radio station, for example, an ideal place to get the message out? It seems not.
I've not seen hiding their hair at any politician. And I've stated, well, I mean, during general elections, you're constantly tripping over them. Other reps, leaflets through the door, but so far there's been nothing.
That seems extraordinary, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so the message from the people of Govan, for yes and no campaigns alike, is they have work to do. Joey Jones, Sky News.